Hi everybody, my name is Mia and I'm the editorial manager for Holl Lane, and I'm popping on today to our Facebook page to tell you a little bit about my story, and then also to share my journey with Holl Lane and tell you kind of what I do for the team and what my role is. So for those of you who are popping on, thank you so much for being here. This is my very first Facebook Live video, so I'm like super nervous. So thank you for being here. Hi Sandra, thank you for watching. So let me tell you a little bit about me first. My name again is Mia, and I live in Virginia with my husband and my two kids. They're ages 8 and 6. I am currently a freelance copywriter. I've been doing that for a few months now. Oh, thank you, Jess. I love my Christmas tree too. We just bought it not too long ago because our old one broke, and we tried to plug it in and nothing happened, so we got this one. Anyway, so I am a freelance copywriter, and I've been doing that for a few months. And basically I do, like product descriptions and transcription services for people who have like podcasts or like videos that they want to have a transcript for, so maybe they might convert it into a blog post or something like that. So a little bit of my background. I've lived in Virginia pretty much all of my life. And I've always been someone who's been interested in being a writer, loving words, loving stories, things like that. So I think it was kind of fitting that I get to be involved with Holl Lane, because we're obviously all about telling people stories that are super important and that people, really need to hear. So my journey with Holl Lane, it started about a year and a half ago, and I just happened to be randomly scrolling through Facebook one day, and I always like to mess around with Sarah and say that it was fate. It was meant to be. I was scrolling through Facebook and I happened to see a post that Sarah had posted. I think it was from her personal blog, and I had been a follower of her blog, but I didn't know her at all. I just knew of her. And so when I saw the post where she was talking about Holl Lane and this magazine that she had put together, and she was looking for a team to help her with editorial and marketing and social media and things like that, I obviously was super intrigued by it and was like, ooh, that sounds really interesting. I want to be involved with that. And at the time, I think I was super interested in social media because I thought that was kind of the direction that I wanted to go in. So I really was excited to get started working on the Facebook page at that time. And so I did that for a little bit, and it was fun at that time because we kind of were putting together our strategy for Facebook, figuring out how we were going to talk about Holl Lane, how many times are we going to post, what are we going to post when we do post, and things like that. So that was a fun experience for me, and I definitely learned a lot. Hi, tell Kat I said hello. Sorry, and if you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to comment below, and I'll try and catch them as they come up. And actually, to back up just a little bit, it was funny that when I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Sarah's post about the magazine, because a friend of mine, we were both writers, we both love words, so we had kind of tossed around the idea of, starting our own magazine, and it would have been a literary magazine. We wanted to talk about like poetry and short stories and fiction and things like that. And so we met over Skype a couple of times. And during those very few brief Skype meetings, we kind of tossed around the ideas like, what are we going to call it? How are we going to make it? Because we're both word people and we don't do pictures and layouts and graphic design. And then we're like, well, what are we going to charge? How are we going to find contributors? How are people going to find out about this? And then the more we kind of delved deeper into it, we're like, this is too much work. This is crazy. Like, what are we doing? So we just kind of tabled the idea. So I think it was funny that, not even a month or two later, I saw Sarah's post and I was really intrigued by it. And so I thought this is a really cool way for me to not only exercise my love of stories and words, but also get to be a part of a magazine and not have to make all the decisions. Sorry, Sarah. um, and so I obviously have loved it and haven't looked back since. But so from my journey from social media, I eventually did a little bit of social media and some editorial. I think not too long after our blog launched, we had an assistant editor at the time, and she and Sarah, and I think an editorial assistant, I don't remember, but the editorial team was putting together, posts for our blog and finding contributors and scheduling people for that. And then as our magazine started to grow and as our blog started to grow, we got really busy. And so Sarah had asked me to help out with scheduling some of the blog contributors and stuff like that. So I did a little bit of both for a little while. And then eventually our assistant editor left the team. And then Sarah had asked me if I wanted to kind of move over into the editorial side. And I was like, absolutely, because I really enjoyed getting to like email back and forth with the contributors, whenever they will write back, if we'll contact them and be like, you submitted a story idea, we'd love to have you in the magazine or the blog. And when they write back and say, oh my gosh, thank you, that means a lot. I'm so happy I get to share my story. I mean, like that's why we do it. It's super important to us. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. And so I was like, yes, sign me up. I want to be on the editorial team. So that's kind of how I moved from there to where I am now. So what does that mean? What do I actually do? What do I do, guys? There are no accidents. Happy you and Sarah found each other. Love the mag. Thank you, Christine. That really means a lot. That's awesome. So what do I do? Like I said, scheduling with contributors for the blog and the magazine. So that involves a lot of, emailing, going back and forth, looking through our story submissions. Sometimes people will contact us with their story ideas, or sometimes we will reach out to people if there's a particular story or subject that we want to share on the blog or the magazine. So there's a lot of emails there. Yes, Jess, I talked to you guys about donuts. I definitely do that. We love donuts at Holl and Lane, in case you guys didn't know. So, hey, if you're looking for a present for us, we love donuts. We'll take donuts. And then what else? So I help sometimes with editing our magazine when the articles come in, or writing product descriptions from time to time when Sarah needs help. Editorial stuff. I do super important editorial stuff, guys. And I love it. Yeah, all the time with the editing, Sarah. Yes, we love donuts with sprinkles. Okay, so that's kind of what I do as the editorial manager for Holl and Lane. Sarah had said that I should also talk about why I've stuck around for the past year and a half without getting paid to do so. And I think that's a fair question, right? And people would want to know that. And the reason I do it, and I'm going to be super sappy here, guys, and I'm going to be all touchy-feely, and sorry, Sarah, but it's because I love it, and I really, really do. I wouldn't be here if I didn't, Like I said, the stories are super important. I really believe in, what we stand for and what we do. And then I also really love our team. I think that our team is amazing. We have so much fun. We joke around with each other. I mean, we do work. We obviously get done the things that we need to get done, but just joking around with each other about donuts, or talking about our days and just cheering each other up or cheering each other on with whatever we're working on. So I really, really enjoy our team. So I'm not going anywhere, Sarah. You're stuck with me. I'm like your Holl and Lane fungus. I don't know, guys. I'm just rambling at this point. Ooh, sorry, my tripod had moved. Okay. All right. Madison says, what is your favorite part of the job? I don't know if I have a favorite. I think, my role on the editorial side, I do a little bit of everything. We do new stuff all the time, or, research, or, let me look for this or look up something or put something new together. And I really enjoy getting to do a little bit of everything every day. So I don't know if that answered your question. I like it all. I like all of it. Sandra, fungus is a little harsh. No, you can't get rid of fungus. I'm your fungus forever. So that's why I stick around for Holl & Lane because, like I said, I love it. It's the best. What else? What else do I want to say? What's your favorite thing about Sarah? Oh my goodness, we would be here for 3 hours. I love Sarah because she and I like to joke with her that we're like brain twins because we speak the same language. And I think over the year and a half, we've kind of developed this unspoken system where she'll be like, can you do the thing that we talked about the other day? And I'm like, yeah, totally, the thing, I got it. Like I enjoy that. I enjoy, not having to have her spell out things and be like, what does this mean? It's just like, oh yeah, got it, cool. And aside from that, I think that she's super, super amazing person and she's so brave for pursuing her dream. And I don't know how the hell she does it, you guys, between working on the magazine and her family and, joking around with me about donuts. I mean, obviously she has time for that. But really, I mean, she's amazing and I don't know how she does it all. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you for doing it all. Let's see. Does anybody else have any other questions? I feel like I'm just rambling. Let's see. Let me scroll through here. I'm surprised that my cat has not made an appearance yet. She keeps messing with my tree. No, Jess, stop it. I love Jess and I love Madison. You guys are the best. Jess totally gets me too because she she feels like she wants to throw up when she's in front of the camera. And you guys, I feel like I want to throw up right now. And people say that they should picture your audience in their underwear when you're like making a presentation or, making a speech. That doesn't work for me. Like you could be in your underwear, you could be butterball naked. Like that does nothing for me. I'm still nervous. I'm still going to throw up. Let's see. Let me scroll through here. Sarah has asked, what has surprised you most about Holl & Lane? I would say that it's not so much that it surprises me, but I think that I underestimated how much it would resonate with people. Because, I mean, we all have a story. I mean, if you're 18 or you're 108, you've been through stuff in your life and you have something to say and you have lessons that you've learned or struggles that you've been through. And, I think, like we always say, my story is powerful, but there's such power in being able to tell someone like what you've been through and just kind of get that kind of catharsis going on. And, and then not only that, but then having, people in the community embrace it, it's Holl & Lane is such like a no judgment zone. Like we're a community, we're compassionate, we're inclusive, like we care about you, we care about your story. And I think that that's been something that is so heartwarming and definitely surprised me by the outpouring of how much people love it and how much they feel like it's super important, like we do, Christine asks, what do you love to read? Oh, I love to read everything. I mean, right now I'm reading Love Warrior by Glenn Doyle Melton. Is that how you say your name? Sorry, I'm looking at the book. Yeah, Glenn Doyle Melton. And it was on Oprah's book club selection, so obviously I have to read it because Oprah says so. But I read everything. I love satire. I love historical fiction. I love I love kind of like crazy true crime books and things like that. So, but I'll read anything, anytime. Let's see. I think that's it for the comments. Okay, I'm caught up. Good. Yes, Sandra, fantasy, of course. I love reading fantasy as well. Melanie asks, what's your favorite thing to do with your family? Um, I We're homebodies mostly, so we spend a lot of time like watching movies or doing things around the house, or we will, drink hot cocoa, or especially now when it's cold, we always have a fire going in the fireplace and sitting around just, baking cookies or, being totally domestic homebodies. But when we do go out, we'll go out for ice cream or we'll take the boys to a movie occasionally and stuff like that. But we're homebodies mostly. Sarah says, who is your dream client for the Figment? Oh, that's a hard one. I'm trying to kind of move away from, like web copy and sales copy and things like that. I'm not that, I can't do it. I mean, obviously I, love to write, and it's not something that I couldn't do. It's just, I feel like there are so many other people out there that do it really well, and it's just not something that interests me. So I really want to do product descriptions because I feel like there aren't enough business owners who sell products. There aren't enough people who are able to write a product description that really resonates. Like I think sometimes there's more of a trend towards telling about the features, like, oh, well, it has this and it's this many inches. And while that's important, I think that, there's features are really important in like a car or an airplane or some kind of a cell phone or something like that. Those are the selling points. But if you're selling something that kind of you want it to resonate with them, then you have to focus more on how you want them to feel. And that's what I love. I love kind of writing the feeling behind a product, or, trying to touch someone in a certain way where when they walk away from your website or your product page, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to go back there and buy it if they didn't already buy it, So I love that. So I would love to work with more product-based business owners and kind of do that. And then on the other flip side, I love doing transcriptions. I don't really know why. I'm a huge podcast junkie, and I'm a huge like video junkie. I watch them like all the time. So getting to kind of help people do that where they can repurpose their content for something else, because business owners are crazy busy and they don't have time to do stuff like that. So I love doing that. What have been some stories that really resonated with you from the issues? Oh, well, I'm going to do shameless self-promotion and say my own. Not only my own, but one of them. I wrote about cultural identity for one of our earlier issues. I think it was issue 3. And that's something that was kind of important to me because growing up as someone who has, a different racial background than most people have, I kind of always felt a little bit like an outcast because you don't really fit into a certain box, and people are always putting other people in boxes. And it's like, where's my box, guys? I don't have a box. So writing about that was really, really cool. But aside from me, I really enjoyed the story from Sarah's sister. She wrote a story about her brain surgery that she had to have because of her condition. And I'm probably screwing up the pronunciation, but I think it's Chiari malformation, and it has to do with her brain and was serious. And there was a portion in it where she said, like, what if something happens to me? What's going to happen to my kids? And I was like, tears, like, stop it. Because I could totally put myself in that place and be like, if something happens to me, what the heck is going to happen to my kids? How are they going to get by? So that really, really resonated with me, and I enjoyed that. I love every single article and every single new issue that comes out. I think we're always like, yes, we love this one's my favorite. And then, everyone's our favorite. So let's see. Melanie says, do you ever dream about writing your own book? Yes, I've been going to write a book like my whole life. So I hope to eventually actually do it. And I know Sandra is cheering me on for that. I originally had started out wanting to write a fiction book because Stephen King's like my favorite author, so I wanted to do kind of like stories that he writes, not necessarily horror, but just kind of real life situations with a little twist put in, which is what I kind of love about his stories. So I started out there, and then I think as I kind of, grew into my writing or grew up, I don't know, I sort of got more interested into poetry just because I like touchy-feely words. And, I think capturing a memory in a poem is especially like if you're upset about something or you're feeling a strong emotion. It doesn't have to be upset, but just a strong emotion and you want to capture it. It's powerful. I love reading people's poetry because it's like a snapshot of what they were feeling or a memory or something, and it's just filled with these powerful, impactful kind of words. So I think I would want to write a poetry book eventually, someday, maybe. um, Hi, Kristen. I'm so glad you're here. Um, can you share some of your favorite podcasts? Oh, I have this conversation with people like every day. I'm always like bothering Sarah, like, whoa, what are you listening to? What's this new podcast about? I listen to a lot of business ones just because I'm a new, freelance business owner, so I'm trying to learn all the things all the time. I really um, I like the Boss Moms podcast. I think it's run by Dana Malstaff, and that's a really, really good one. I really like. Oh, I just discovered this one the other day, and you guys probably know her if you're into the blogging world. But Jenna Kutcher has one. It's called Goal Digger, the Goal Digger, or Goal Digger. I don't remember. It's Goal. But that one is really, really good too. As far as non-business ones, I like the one called Unqualified by Anna Faris. She's been in movies like, the scary movie parody ones. She's really, really funny, and she has these silly interviews with people, so I really like that one too. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. All right, how long has it been? Oh my God, you guys, I've been like talking for 20 minutes. This is ridiculous. um, so I don't have anything else planned to share. I think I've covered the basis, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment below, and I will absolutely come back and answer your question later on tonight. And yeah. So thank you guys. Oh, and definitely join our Facebook group if you haven't already, because you should. You should do it like immediately, or at least after I stop the video. But it is where we, share really awesome conversations, and we get to know each other better. Not only the team, but our contributors and just people who love reading it. And so definitely go join the Facebook group, and you get sneak peeks and first looks at things. So go do that. And I think that's it. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah posted the link if you guys want to check it out. So I'm going to head off here so I can go throw up, but I will see you guys another time. And I'm pretty sure Sarah is going to be back next week, I think. So you get to see her beautiful face again. And have a good night. Bye, guys.